Fonga Latia Ashe Ashe Fonga Latia Ashe Ashe Fonga Ashe, Ashe, Fonga alafia, Ashe, Ashe, Fonga alafia, Ashe, Ashe, Fonga alafia, Ashe, Ashe, Did you like that? All right. Good morning, good morning. I am Mama Edie, and I am so happy to be here with you all today. And I love to begin my shows with that song because it's a welcome song. How many of you have heard that song before? Yeah, that is a wonderful thing. Now let me ask you this. How many of you know what the words mean? You know, a lot of folk go around singing all kinds of songs with all kinds of words. You know what I'm talking about. And some of them songs don't need to be sung. But this is a good song. So, just in case you don't know, that first word, fonga, everybody say fonga. Fonga is a way of saying I welcome you into my heart. A very special and sweet way to say hello. I mean, it's a lot better than just looking at somebody saying hi, isn't it? I mean, what is that, hi? But if you tell somebody you have a special space in my heart, it's very special. The second word is alafia. Please say alafia. And alafia is a Yoruba word from the Yoruba people of Nigeria that means may the peace of God be with you. Also very sweet. And the last word is ashe. Please say ashe. 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 All right now. And ashe is like saying amen. Amen. Or it's like saying show you right. Or it's like saying there's power in your words. That's right. And we know that our words have power, don't we? Yes. Because with our words, we can either lift each other up and help each other feel really, really good, or we can tear each other down. That's a lot of power. You got to be careful with that kind of power. We can say things to people just joking around and just being silly that will last them and hurt them for the rest of their lives. You got to be careful with the power of your words. You never know when somebody's right on the edge. So you don't want to tip them over and make them fall off the bridge. You want to, grab them and bring them back with the power of your words, don't you? Yeah, okay, so don't forget that. So we're going to do that song all together. So I'll sing a line and you'll sing a line and I'll sing a line and you sing a line and I'll sing. Oh, you got it, right? Okay. My turn first. I'll sing a line and then I'll say your turn, okay? Here we go. Fonga alafia, ashe, ashe. Your turn. Fonga alafia, ashe, ashe. My turn. Fonga alafia, ashe, ashe. Your turn. Fonga alafia, ashe, ashe. My turn. Fonga alafia, ashe, ashe. Fonga alafia, ashe, ashe. Fonga alafia, ashe, ashe. Yeah, let me hear what kind of rhythm you have. As you clap your hands, 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 to the sound of the shaker. Now, did you catch the name of the instrument? Who heard the name of the instrument? Say it again. Shakeray. There you go. Shakeray. Everybody say shakeray. 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 Now, you know, among the Africans who use the shakeray, they say that when the shakeray is played, when you hear the sound of those joyful beads rattling and rattling, that it makes all the bad spirits go away. Because you can't hear the sound of the shakeray, and like if you came into a place and you were all mad and man, by the time you get through hearing the sound of the shakeray, you be going. So all those bad spirits would have just left. As the power of music, the power of sound. Well, I'm going to set this little shakeray down a little bit, and we're going to make a slight switch talking about power. Man, there's power in a lot of stuff that we deal with. There's power in knowing our history. Somebody, a quiet, seated hand raiser, one person, quiet, seated hand raiser, tell me, what is history? What is history anyway? But now don't just raise your hand and say, Make sure you got something to say, all right? What is history? I'm not looking for a perfect answer, just an answer. What do you think history is? Yes. History is the story about a person who helps to serve our country. Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's part of it. Let's give her a hand. And what's your name? Brooklyn. That's Brooklyn, y'all. Say hey, Brooklyn. All right. Thank you. One other idea. What else? What is history to you? What is that? Any other ideas? No? Okay, well, let me see. Oh, yes. Say it a little louder, baby. History is the story of an important event in the past. What's your name? I can't hear you. Say it again. Eloy? Let's give him a hand. All right, very good. So history is the story of important people and important events. So now, when did history begin? Way that long time ago. At a time when people began, and even before people began, at a time when there were big dinosaurs that roamed the planet. History is the story of life. All life. Now, let me ask you this. When do you think that the history of black people began? When did it begin? A quiet seated hand raiser. How far back does the history of black people go? Somebody, anybody got an idea? When do you think it started? When, what happened?
When the slaves were brought here.
Okay, he thinks that the history of black people, the story of black people, began when the slaves were brought to the United States. Okay, that's a thought. That's a thought. Thank you. When do you think that history began? The history of black people began?
Well, I think it started because, like, my mom said that, like, black people were, like, the first people on Earth. It's like that.
Say it again.
Say it again. Black people were the first people on Earth. Madison.
Let's give them both a hand. I don't know if you got that. She said that her mama told her that black people were the first people on Earth. Give it up. That's right. A lot of times people think that the history of black folks started in slavery. That means if history started for black people during slavery, that means that they weren't around before slavery, right? But they were around before slavery. it was during slavery that other folk came and took them away and gave them a really, really hard time. Okay? So, it's important to remember that human life began. Let me try to explain. The first man and woman were born on an African plain. They took the first breath of life that led to who we are today. In Kenya, Ethiopia, in that vicinity, we know from scientific fact that this is where we all come from. And this is how it all came to be. So, the name of this show is Making a Way Out of No Way, celebrating African American scientists and inventors. Well, you couldn't have African American scientists and inventors without African science and inventors, yes? So when we go back to some of the first inventors were they Chinese? Were they Korean? Were they Russian? Were they African? Yep. So now who were the first doctors? Africans. Who were the first teachers? Who were the first parents? Who were the first leaders of countries and governments? Asheo. Give yourselves a clap. That's right. Know your history. Are you a part of history? Asheo. Some people think that history is about a bunch of dead people. Well, they are a part of history because history deals with anybody that ever lived. And everybody's got a story, and you got a story. You got a story too. Somebody's making some strange noises. If there's an adult around who can kind of help with that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay? So now, it's important to remember that we do all have a history, and all of us contribute to making life better. Now, at some point, when we think about the wheel, somebody invented the wheel, right? Somebody designed the wheel. Don't you know that Africans long time ago had to move big old heavy things from one place to another? And somebody said, oh man, you know what? I just noticed that we got these round rocks right here. If we just kind of put our stuff on top of these round rocks, I bet we can just roll it on to wherever we need it to be. And then they started making the wheel better and better until we've got wheels right now, riding around on our cars and on our airplanes and everything. And so, yes, inventions began long time ago with African people on African plains. Now, there is a transportation vehicle, since we're talking about transportation vehicles. And of course, transportation vehicles are those objects that can take us from one place to another. That's right. So that means we're talking about what? Cars and airplanes and choo-choo trains and trucks and buses and bicycles. Skateboards. Okay. And how about surfboards? Gliding across the ocean? Hey, why not? They get you from one place to another. Well, there's an inventor who was out one day and he saw, this was back, he was born in like 1877. And he was born to slaves. But he himself was born after the time of slavery. You know, slavery stopped in 1865. And so what happened was that he was out one day. This was a time when they were still riding around in carriages with horses and things like that. But cars were starting to be developed too. So one day, this gentleman was out in the street and he saw an accident as it happened. There was a carriage and a car that ran into each other. Oh my goodness. He said, oh my goodness. And he said, you know, something should have been done there. Something might have been there to keep that accident from happening. A mother and a child were killed in that accident. And so he decided he had to do something. So now there was kind of a light that was there. It already had some signals, but it didn't have enough. So this man decided we need 3 lights. We need a light that says it's time to stop, a light that says it's time to go, and another light that says get ready. Because see, that's what they didn't have with the carriage and the car. They didn't have that get ready light. And so he made that one yellow, and the red light was for the stop, and the green light was for go. Do you know who that man was? What was his name? Garrett A. Morgan. That's right, Garrett A. Morgan. There was a man who was thinking one day, there are so many cars all down the way, and hey, that guy almost hit someone. The children can't even safely have fun. That man said, I've got to do something here. So he made something wonderful that got him a cheer. He made a traffic light, a red, yellow, and green. It was the greatest thing anyone had seen. The yellow says, get ready to please slow down. The red says, stop, but don't with a frown, because green says you can go again and cross the street. But do be careful and use walking feet. That man was Garrett Morgan, a great black man. I wish I could have met him. I'd like to shake his hand. So now we walk safely to the other side, and we sing to Garrett Morgan our song with pride, and it goes like this. Okay, did you like that? Okay, that's a story that I wrote some years ago about Garrett Morgan. But you know what? When I got through with the story, I started feeling a song coming on. So I'm going to sing for you the song, and then you're going to sing it with me, okay? All right. But I'm going to do it in a very special way. Song goes like this. Go stop, look both ways. Go stop, look both ways. Go stop, look both ways. Garrett Morgan made the traffic light. Be careful when you cross the street. Be careful and use walking feet. Go stop, look both ways. Garrett Morgan made the traffic light. Garrett Morgan made the traffic light. Did you like that? All right, all right, all right. Well, what was I doing with my hands? Was I just having a fit or what? What was I using? Sign language. And sign language is primarily the language for people who cannot hear. And those people are called deaf. Now, some people say deaf with a TH. That's not correct. When you say deaf, you're talking about somebody who is done with this life and they going on to the other side. Deaf with an F at the end of the word. Deaf people. And some people even say deaf and dumb. Deaf people don't like that, because dumb these days generally indicates somebody who's kind of goofy. And so they don't use that. They just use deaf, okay? So remember that in courtesy to deaf people. So do you want to learn how to do that? Song with your hands using sign language? All right, okay. Maybe we can have a bit more light so that they can see their fingers. Okay, put your fingers up. Here we go. Okay, and teachers and parents, if you do this with us, then you can do the activity with your children at home and your classes, all right? Here we go. This is a sign for go. Just flip it on out. Yeah, there you go, like get on out of here. Okay, go. This is a sign for stop. Okay. And then look both ways. Just take 2 fingers and just rock your head back and forth. Look both ways. Again, go, stop, look both ways, and then go, stop, look both ways. Garrett, you're using the letter G. Can you see it? Garrett goes on the shoulder, which is a place of respect or authority, on the opposite shoulder. There you go, not like this. Okay, Garrett, and then the letter M with 3 little fingers down. M. Morgan, that's his sign name. Then we're gonna use this for a maid or make. He made, like you got a screwdriver and you're fixing something. And then we're gonna use the car for traffic, and then turn on the light. There you go. Now for the next part, put your 2 fingers up and then bring them one on top of the other, ding, 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 like this. And then say, be careful. There you go. Put one arm out and cross the street. When you cross the street, there you go. Very good. Be careful again. Be careful. And use walking. Point to your feet. Feet, good. Go, stop, look both ways. Garrett, Morgan made the traffic lights. Very good. Okay, you ready? All right, here we go. We'll do it kind of slow, okay? All right, fingers up. Okay, go, stop. Look both ways. Go, stop. Look both ways. Go, stop. Look both ways. Garrett Morgan made the traffic light. Now sing it after me. Be careful. Be careful. When you cross the street. Be careful. And use walking feet. Go, stop. Look both ways. Garrett Morgan made the traffic light. Last part. Garrett Morgan made the traffic, 2 hands, light. Woo! Give yourselves a hand. All right. Well now, let me show you. Got some little friends up here on my table. Now, when we talk about black folk who know how to make a way out of no way, man, I tell you, somehow we survived. There were many Africans who were taken during the time of the transatlantic slave trade to many places around the world. Some were taken to South America, like this little lady who ended up in a place called the Dominican Republic. Clearly you can see that she has African ancestors. And then there are people who were taken to places like Cuba and Puerto Rico and Mexico, especially in places like Puerto Vallarta and Veracruz. And they've come to Trinidad and Tobago and Chicago, Detroit, Mississippi. So black folk have ended up all over the world. And some of them began in a place where she's from, like a country where she's from. She's from a country called Senegal. Can you say Senegal? Senegal. Many of the people in Senegal are very tall and elegant and beautiful, with dark, beautiful skin and bright eyes and smiles that melt your heart and just make you feel so good. And it's in Senegal and in other countries of the ancient Malian Empire that many of the storytellers, who are sometimes called griots, sometimes called jali, who use an instrument like this. Does anybody know the name of this instrument? It's called kora. Kora. K-O-R-A. And there are many who say that it's the great-great-great-great-granddaddy of the banjo. But what happens is that just the same way that I took the story of Garrett Morgan and put it into a song and put it into a poem, that's the way people pass on the stories of their people so that they would always understand. And when we talk about the importance of history, one of the most important things about history is that it gives us ideas as to how to make a way out of no way. So one of the most important things is to look at the examples that people have given us when it looked like things were so difficult and they said, wow, how can we make this any better? It doesn't seem like it can happen. And then you think about it and you ask somebody else, you put your ideas and your thoughts together, and then you come up with a way. You make a way when it seems like there was no way. You can always find one because we are intelligent beings, right? Well, I'm going to share one more story with you before I go into an activity that I want to have some of you do. But you'll need to do it right down there. And how can we do? Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. So this is a story. Let me ask you, do any of you all know any stories about your own parents or your grandparents? What do you know? Come on. Tell us a little bit.
Well, I know on my dad's side of the family that there were like people who were enslaved.
Okay, do you know anything like a little closer than that? Did your grandmother or grandfather, do you know anything that they did besides being enslaved? Do you know what they did? What life was like for them? Do you know what kind of work they did or how they played, or did they write music? Were they politicians? Did they run a country? Do you know anything like that?
No.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you.
Well, my dad's dad, he was in the army. He was a soldier.
Okay, good for you. Very good.
Well, my grandma and my grandma's mom and dad, they were in the army and the Air Force.
Okay, all right, very good. So now what do you get from that? Did that give you any valuable inspiration or information?
Yeah, when I was little, I went to, I used to always wear my grandmother's army hat, and I did want to go to the army, but then I thought about it, and I didn't really want to go to it.
So sometimes when we know some of the stories of our people, it can give us ideas as to what we want to do with our own lives, right? Okay, there's somebody way over there, and then we'll go on. Can you talk nice and loud so we can all hear you? Okay, stand up. Your great-great-grandmother was a healer? A healer? Excellent. Let's give them all a hand. Okay. We got one more up there, really excited to say something. Yes, baby. Over here. Yes, little one. You got your hand up. Yes. Talk nice and loud, though. Okay. So we got a lot of army and military stuff. There's one more. Okay, last one. Yes, dear. Yes. Your grandmother did what now? Was a slave? That must have been like your great-great-grandma. Yeah? And she escaped? Okay, let's give them all a hand. Let's give them all a hand. All right. So now this is not to say I want y'all ought to run out and sign up for the military, okay? But it's good to know that despite the fact that in the history of our people, many thousands and thousands of millions of people were treated so badly, and yet they fought for this country. And then when they came back, they were still treated badly. So, but somehow you find a way to make a way out of no way, right? You come from a legacy of people who keep getting kicked in the teeth, and then they rise back up again. Look at what has happened with your President Obama. They keep trying to kick him down, and he keeps getting back up again. They try to kick him down, he gets back up again, and looks at them and says, I'm not going down to your level. And that's what we need to do, to stay strong in who we are. Well now, how many of you have taken a train anywhere? Yeah? Okay, all right. Well, gonna take a train. Gonna take you on a little train ride in history. But this train ride is a special tribute to my grandfather. So this is an example of how you can learn some of the stories of your own family members and write their story. Write a story about them. Write a song about them. And so I want to share this one with you. My grandpa's name was Quilla McLeod. He was a railroad man, you see. He was born in Georgia a long time ago, in 1890. He didn't use a pick and axe working to lay the railroad tracks. He wasn't, don't clap. You can snap your fingers if you want to, because I want you to hear the story. He wasn't the conductor who ran the train. Colored men weren't allowed to play that game. He wasn't the one who called all aboard for that job. Colored men had been ignored. But what he did real well. And that is the story that I'm here to tell. Grandpa Aquila. Grandpa Aquila was his name. Grandpa Aquila. Grandpa Aquila was his name. A. Philip Randolph came to fame by sleeping. Now, for my grandpa's name, for decent work and decent pay. And 12 years later, there came a day when all the porters got a decent wage. Working together, they set the stage for the brotherhood of sleeping car porters. 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 Working together, they came to expect that everyone should have respect. And no one's any better than anyone else. It's the way you do the things you do that often tells of the quality, the character of everyone. And in this way, when their jobs were done, they were proud to be. Service with style, there was strength and secrets behind the smiles of the brother of sleeping car porters. The brotherhood of sleeping car porters. The brotherhood of sleeping car porters. Say it. Brotherhood of the brotherhood of sleeping car porters. The brotherhood of sleeping car porters. Woo, woo. There it is. All right. Thank you for joining me in that story. Now, I think what I want to do is, as we look at significant people in history, my grandfather wasn't specifically a scientist or an inventor. He was just a regular guy. And so this is a message that we, the regular people, can also make a significant difference. We can make a difference. All we have to do is look around at the needs that we have and do something. Do something special that can make life a little bit better. And you don't have to wait till you get to be grown. You can do something to make a difference in your lives right now. You can do something, you can be kind to the new kid who comes to your class. Or you can stand up for somebody in your class who's being bullied. There's always a way that we can do something to make life a little bit better. What I want to wrap up now with, I think, is No, we got started a little bit late. What I want to wrap up with now is a tribute to those cousins that we have. We got cousins who speak French, who ended up in places like Haiti. We got cousins who speak Portuguese, who ended up in places like Brazil. We got cousins who ended up in Cuba, Puerto Rico, in Mexico, and so many places where they speak what? In Cuba and Puerto Rico and Mexico, what do they speak? Come on now, okay? And so to those cousins, I want to offer a story that can kind of lighten our hearts a little bit and teach us, give us an example of how using our minds when we gotta make a way. This is a story about a mouse, a family of mice, where the mother had to come up with an idea as to how to save her children. And even though it's a story about a family of mice, please use the lesson to apply to your own lives, okay? It kind of goes like this. Había una vez una familia de ratoncitas. Once upon a time, there was a family of little rats, little mice. There was mamá ratón, papá ratón, y hermano. ¿Quién es hermano? Brother and hermana. ¿Quién es hermana? Sister, that's right. Well, now one day, Mommy looked up at the sky and she said, ah, familia mía, mi familia, mira el cielo, look at that beautiful, beautiful sky. She said, ah, yo tengo una idea, I've got a good idea. She said, vamos a comer en el parque. We're going to go in the park, yes. And so the children are so excited, they said, hooray, everybody say hooray. And so she started pulling together all kind of wonderful food. She made some pollo frito. What is pollo frito? Some fried chicken, child. Yes, some fried chicken. Can no picnic without some fried chicken. And she made some papas. What are papas? French fries. Don't you know it? And she had some frutas. What are frutas? She had fruits, and she had all kinds of good stuff. And so she started putting all of these wonderful things in a great big canasta. What's a canasta? A basket, yes. And so she put it in the basket, and Papi came along and he said, ay, he said, this is going to be pretty heavy. I better take care of this. Pero no te preocupe, don't worry about it, porque mira mis músculos grandes. Look at my great big what? And Mommy said, ah, Papi, come on. And so anyway, so then they got the basket and they went off to the park. Well, they found a great big beautiful space in the meadow, and Mommy started spreading the blanket, and she said, come on children, ayúdame, come on and help me. And they said, ah, Mommy, we don't want to help. Vamos a jugar en el parque. We're going to go and play in the park. And so Mommy said, es una buena idea, porque Papi and I, we're going to sit here and smooch. The children said, ew, Mommy, Papi, we're out of here. And so anyway, so the children went off to play. They found a wonderful spot, and they started playing and playing, play and played. Oh, they played and played, play and played. Oh, they started playing, spin around, and ooh, they almost fell down. And then finally, Hermana said to Hermano, she said, Hermano, yo tengo hambre. I'm feeling kind of hungry. And so he said, yeah, y yo también, me too. And so she said, let's go and see if la comida está lista. Let's go and see if the food is ready. And so they went back to Mommy and Papi. Guess what Mommy and Papi were doing? Besando. They were still kissing. And so the children said, ew, Mommy, we're out of here again. So they ran off again. And this time, when they went to another area to play, there was a big, tall fence. And so Hermana said to Hermano, she said, Hermano, he said, sí. She said, yo pienso que el señor Gato vive aquí. I think that Mr. Cat lives here. And Hermano said, no te preocupe, don't worry about it, porque yo no tengo miedo al gato, I'm not scared of no cat. And she said, well, me neither. And so they played and played and played and played, and then guess who came along? El Señor Gato. Da-doo, 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 da-doo. Well, there he was, looking at him with those great big ojos verdes, those great big green eyes, and dientes largas, some long, sharp teeth. And so, hermana y hermano, they looked up and they said, hola, gato. Pero no dijo nada. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. And so they said again, hola, gato. But he still didn't say anything, so they got insulted. They said, gato, hola. He still didn't say anything. So they decided they were going to tease him. So they said, gato, 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 gato. Oh my goodness. Now do you think that cat liked that? Not one bit. Well, before you know it, that cat had jumped up on top of the fence and was looking down at hermana y hermano. And they looked up and they said, hola, gato. But then, all of a sudden, with one pounce, he jumped off of that fence and he started running after them, corriendo, corriendo, corriendo. And they were hollering and screaming. They were saying, Mommy, Papi, ayúdanos, ayúdanos, help us, help us, help us. Boogity, 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 boogity. They were running, corriendo, corriendo, corriendo. And when they finally got to where Mommy and Papi were, guess what they were doing? They said, Mommy, Papi, por favor, mira, el gato está aquí. Look, the cat is here. And Mommy said, ay, Papi, mira, what are we going to do? Papi said, no te preocupes, don't worry about it. Yo no tengo miedo del gato, I ain't scared of no cat. And she said, okay, then we'll do something. And he did. Guess what Papi did? He ran and hid behind su esposa. Ran and hid behind his wife. Yes, he did. And she said, Papi, what are you doing back there? He said, well, I don't know what to do. And the hermano ran back there, and the hermano ran back there, and they were all trembling behind Mommy, and there was Mommy, trying to figure out how she was going to make a way out of nowhere. Had that cat right up there in her face. And then all of a sudden, she had an idea. She looked at that cat dead in his eye and said, whoa. Lord, that cat looked at her, and then she said, I think it's working. So she barks again, bro. So that cat jumped back, and so she said, come on, you guys, bark with me. They all started barking and barking and barking and barking. Pew! That cat took off, boogity, 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 corriendo, corriendo, corriendo. He was running, kicking up the dust, and that little mouse family fell out laughing. They were laughing so hard, they were rolling all in the grass, had their little legs all kicking up in the air. And so when they finally got up and they finished their meal, and they had had a very nice time after the cat was gone, after they packed up everything and they were on their way home, Mommy said to the children, she said, you see, children, it's like I always say, es muy importante para hablar otro idioma. It's very important to know how to speak another language. Al fin. Well, I think our time has just about come to an end. And so I want to share with you again that you are all a part of history. Do something every day that can be special in some kind of way. And when you think about the DuSable Museum, think about the do in DuSable. Every time you pass this building, ask yourself, have I done anything special lately? Have I done anything to make life a little bit easier, a little bit better for somebody, even for myself? Do something with your lives. Know that each of you is a gift to us. Use that gift well, okay? Again, my name is Mama Edie, and I thank you so much for being here.